Welcome to Las Vegas, where fortunes are won and lost on the spin of a roulette wheel, where dreams are spun like the world's largest roulette wheel. You might think you know Vegas, right? But here's the thing, there's more to this neon-soaked mirage than meets the eye. Underneath the garish gleam of the strip, beneath the echoing laughter and clinking glasses, there's a forgotten history, a lost lore that whispers tales both haunting and hopeful, tragic and sometimes terrifying. Tonight, we're pulling back the velvet rope. No, we're gonna rip it right off its hinges and dive headfirst into the city's shadowy underbelly. Now brace yourself because the tales we're about to unfold are straight out of a gangster flick, except they're real. We're talking mob hits, unsolved mysteries, and secrets so big they could bury you alive. So grab your poker face, hold on tight because we're about to show you the faces, places, and forgotten stories that built Sin City, a past darker than any blackjack table and just as exhilarating. Ready? Let's get all in. Picture this, 1931, a full 17 years before the opening of the Flamingo and decades before the mega resorts started popping up. Vegas wasn't this gleaming mirage, it was a ghost town, and I mean really empty. In fact, by 1929, the entire Clark County had only around 2,000 residents. Yep, you heard me right, 2,000. It was dustier than a 3-day-old poker table back then. The Hoover Dam was just a twinkle in some engineer's eye, and the closest thing Vegas had to entertainment was the Union Pacific Railroad Depot, which also served as the city's jail. Yep, booking a drunkard was easier than getting a straight flush. With organized crime running rampant and the Depression raging like a wildfire, Vegas was about as appealing as a losing streak at the roulette table. So let's ask the obvious. Why on earth would anyone want to set up shop in this desolate stretch of desert? Well, let me introduce you to a motley crew of pioneers, a ragtag bunch of dreamers, gamblers, saloon owners, and yes, even a few Mormon settlers who planted the seeds of what would become the world's playground. As for the lawman, well, they were outnumbered, outgunned, and desperately trying to keep the peace in a town where saloons were more common than tumbleweeds. Among them was Sheriff Pat Foley, a man who looked like he'd stepped out of an old Western film, complete with a handlebar mustache and a 6-gun at his hip. He and his deputies patrolled the dusty streets trying to tame the wildest corners of the Wild West. It was a thankless job, but someone had to do it. The year is 1931, and a new business is coming to town, or should I say floating. Walter Blue Pierpont, a man with a name like trouble and a reputation to match, is about to bring his riverboat, the El Rancho, right smack dab in the middle of the desert. Sure, there's no river around, but when you got a gambler's itch, details like that are just for chumps. It's a motley crew, these pioneers all chasing their own dreams in the shadow of the looming mountains. And as they start to piece together the bones of what will become Las Vegas, they bring with them the hopes, fears, and dreams that will shape the city's future. With the Hoover Dam project on the horizon and the promise of organized crime bringing in the bucks, Vegas is about to go from wide open range to wide open gamble. But here's the thing, this little corner of the Nevada desert is about to get a whole lot more complicated. Enter Bugsy and Meyer, otherwise known as Benjamin and Meyer Lansky, two names that are about to change the gambling game in Vegas forever. When most people think of Vegas, they picture flashing lights and fancy resorts, right? But let me tell you something about the good old days. Organized crime was as prevalent as slot machines in the early days of Vegas. Guys like Bugsy and Meyer Lansky weren't playing checkers. They were rolling the dice on a whole new era of Vegas. I'm talking high stakes, dangerous games, and enough double crossing to make your head spin faster than the roulette wheel. Now, you might wonder why Vegas? Why did they choose this godforsaken desert spot? Well, it was all about opportunity, my friend. Nevada legalized gambling in 1931, and Vegas, being the closest major city to Los Angeles, was the perfect spot for East Coast gangsters to launder money. It was also far enough away from the prying eyes of federal regulators. You see, they were wanted for murder, bribery, bootlegging, and other white-collar crimes in New York, so they headed to Vegas and bought hotels, built casinos, and poured their ill-gotten gains into the desert sands. This was no walk in the park, mind you. These guys lived and breathed danger. There were turf wars, gang fights, and betrayals that would put a modern-day soap opera to shame. I'm talking about the kind of action that makes headlines and leaves ink still wet on the pages. Bugsy and Meyer were part of the infamous Murder Incorporated, a group so ruthless it made the Godfather look like a choir boy. Their reign of terror shook New York, and their presence in Vegas was a ticking time bomb. You see, they turned Vegas into a hub for mobsters. And soon the city was crawling with wise guys looking to make a quick buck or collect a debt. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Even in the murky waters of organized crime, there were power struggles, double crosses, and all-out gang wars. Just ask Frank the Hump Erickson, a mobster who got tangled up in a power struggle in 1934 and ended up buried in the desert with a bullet in his brain. That's right, brains and bullets, folks. It was a regular Tuesday in Vegas. There were rival gangs led by the likes of Al Scarface Capone and Charlie Lucky Luciano. They were all drawn to the wide open spaces of Vegas where they could operate with little interference, at least compared to the East Coast. It was a new frontier for organized crime, one filled with potential riches and untold dangers. By the late 1930s, Vegas was teeming with mobsters. These weren't your average tourists. No, sir. They were here to make money, to build empires, and to spill blood if necessary. Underneath the neon lights and the clinking of glasses, there was a power struggle brewing, a secret society where fortunes were made and broken in the blink of an eye. In the smoky backrooms of illegal card games and underground dice tables, deals were struck and broken, shaping the very foundation of Vegas. As we delve deeper into the lost lore of Las Vegas, we'll uncover the shocking realities of mob rule, exploring the untold stories of those who dared to play the game and those who paid the ultimate price for losing. Because in the world of organized crime, there's no such thing as a friendly game. Some things are best left buried. Take the case of Thomas Fatty Mossel, for instance. He vanished without a trace, leaving behind nothing but a mountain of debt and a trail of rumors. Then there's the tale of Jimmy the Weasel Fratiano, a mobster who decided to defect and spill the beans on his former colleagues. His reward, a one-way ticket to the desert, courtesy of the Mob Hit Squad. These stories aren't just chilling tales from Vegas's past. They're a testament to the lengths to which the mob would go to protect their turf. In the upcoming episodes, we'll dig into the archives, explore the forgotten graveyards, and unearth the chilling tales that reveal the darkness lurking beneath the city's glittering facade. So stay tuned, because the truth is, Las Vegas was built on secrets, and some of them are just dying to be uncovered. Did you find this episode intriguing? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're there, don't forget to like and subscribe for more captivating stories from the darkest corners of history.